It's Nyla who? It's Nyla what? It's Nyla who? It's Nyla who? Boo, what? And hey, what's up? Hello, if you've never seen my face before, but if you've been here before, hey boo, how are you? Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and you hit that subscribe button because good vibes here all the time. As y'all see today, I am not by myself. I am here with Miss Elaine.
Hey guys, how you doing?
So you guys go subscribe to my mama's channel. It will be in the description below. She posts every single day, so give her some love. And she talks about everything. Give them a little bit of description of your channel.
So on my channel, I do talk about a little bit of things. I talk about my family, I talk about myself, I talk about health, I talk about, you know, women of 60, because that's what age I am. So, you know, that's what usually my channel is. Sometimes you may pop in and see her dad, significant other. But other than that, it's usually, you know, just my daily routine, what I do every day. So come check me out. And I just started lives. I did 2 lives. So yes. Come on over on my live. If you really want to check me out.
So please go check out her channel and go subscribe. So as y'all see today, this is a motherly advice girl talk. I'm going to be asking my mother some questions. Because like she just said, she's 60. She have lived life. Okay, so she is very... living life. And still living life. She is very bold and outspoken. She's going to tell you what it is and what it ain't. And you can take the advice. You don't have to. But she's one person I know that's going to say it straight through. She's not going to sugarcoat it. She's going to give it to you how it is.
Well, as your mom, you should be able to just be able to talk freely about anything. And that's the kind of mom I am. I'm that kind of mom that I talk very freely with my children. It's Jada, and she has 2 older siblings, her brother and her sister. And I've been a very open parent, not trying to sugarcoat anything, because I think it helped them, well, I hope it helped them, you know, through a lot of things in life that they're dealing with or have dealt with.
Help me.
So, just being straight up honest, and I'm not trying to judge anybody's parenting, but for myself, I just think it helps me out. I think it helped them out also.
Definitely. I feel like having a great mother and daughter bond where you can talk about everything helps you growing up, and you also get to see life in a different perspective, you know. So this video is definitely for the girls who need that motherly advice, maybe not close to their mom, or you know, God rest their soul to your mom. So this is another reason why I decided to do this video. So the first question we have.
Oh wow.
What?
I'm like, the first question you have.
The first question we have.
It's gonna be hard.
No. First, this person said, "You are beautiful."
Thank you, whoever said that. It takes it takes a lot of work to maintain, especially when you get 60. It takes a lot to maintain your whole face structure and appearances. So thank you so much.
Shout out to you. How do you manage life, and how do you manage living? Like, keep going.
Wow. Well, you know what? Let me start off with this, right? After being a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a caregiver, because I was a caregiver to my mother for 8 years. And I think that's when I really discovered, you know, about my life, you know, what I want to do. Because with that time taking care of my mom, it reflects on my childhood, my youth, my early adulthood, you know, by taking care of my mom. Because I always said to myself, I'm going to be here one day, you know, where my mother is. I'm going to be in this, not saying that in that predicament, but I'm going to reach that age where I may need either my children, my husband, or whatever. So that really pushed me to take better care of myself, because with taking care of my mom, I forgot about taking care of myself, and I became really, really sick. And with that experience, me getting sick, it made me start to think, like, you know, I don't want to travel down this route. I mean, granted, like I said, I don't turn back if I could turn back the hand of the time, I wish my parents were still here. But with that period of time, me dealing with my mother, taking care of my mother, it also brought me closer to my mom, because out of 9 siblings, there's 9 in my family, I fall in the place of 7. So with that time period of me spending time with my mom, it helped me to understand my mother also, because I was never a mommy girl. I was a daddy's girl. So having that time with my mother, it must have been by the Lord's will, because I've never had been that close with my mother. Okay, we had our ups and downs, even though I was taking care of her. She wasn't the easy person, but it also got me an opportunity to have that one-on-one with her, which I've never gotten all through my childhood and my early younghood, you know, because my mother was just, hey, she was just my mother. You know, I didn't have that close bond, and I couldn't talk to and I had always said to myself, when I have children, I want to have this open kind of relationship with them. So with all that being said, that's how I got from B to, I'm not even saying Z, let's meet somewhere in the middle, maybe to A to H on my life, because I started working out my plans about where my journey is going to take me after taking care of my mom. You know what I'm saying? And that's just basically on life. Like, you know, life is funny because
it is.
you think like when you turn 21, you know everything and you're ready, and you're not. You know, you really ain't, because there's so many doors that you can open up into your life on how you would like your life to be. Some of us pick that right door, but a lot of us pick the wrong door. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's always a setback. You gotta set back, hit that pause button, rewind, and start over again, which is perfectly fine. I've done it many times in my life. So I hope that answered kind of like the question. I know it was kind of like everywhere, but you're smart enough. Put the puzzle together.
Basically, she's just saying to manage life, you gotta live it. You gotta go through the ups and the downs. You have to, you know.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is good too.
Yeah, exactly.
Being self-aware, and also you'd be surprised what connections and bonds that you build with life. Like, you just have to.
But I know one thing about myself. I can say this much about myself. I was a very shy, like I said, come from a family of 9, and with that being in the family 9 and being the 7th child, I got lost. I got disconnected. When I say lost, I had an identity crisis. I really didn't know who I was, because I seen that my younger sister was being favored by my older sister. My second youngest sister next to me was being favored by my mom. Then my older brother, he was being favored by my mother and father. And there it was just me. You know, just unattended, just there. So my mind said, well, maybe I need to act like this one. Maybe I need to act like this one. Maybe I need to be like this one. Just trying to find some connection. So I suffered with that a pretty much good period of my life, from early like high school to a young woman until I had, I don't know, maybe just your sister Stephanie. And then I woke up. I said, well, the only way I'm going to be able to identify myself and people recognize who I am and who I am, I got to open up my mouth and start communicating. And I tell you, when I started opening up my mouth, people started to listen. And I just started pouring in different friends, and even though they were much older than me, don't let age be a threat to you, but even though they were much older than me, they was also teaching me too. And I don't regret that part of my life. I never will. If I could turn that time back and go back to that time, I would love to turn back, because that was like the best time in my life.
That's good. The next question is, what would you tell your younger self at 20? Or what do you wish you knew at 20?
20, I wish that I would have went to college. And the only reason why is that because when I was in school, in high school, like I said, I was like going through that whole identity crisis. I didn't have nobody directing me. I didn't have nobody telling me, oh, what are you going to do when you get out of high school? It was just like, get out of high school. And that's what I did. I got out of high school. I had no direction. I remember even being home for the first year, September, because you know when you go back to school in September, laying in the bed trying to figure out, okay, so what do I do now? Everybody else has gone to school. I didn't graduate. What am I to do? So I just got up and went look for a job. Had somebody had told me or mentioned to me about, well, have you ever thought about going to college? Or, you know, taking a trade? then maybe in my 20s, after graduating from high school, because pretty much the age you are,
Yeah.
I probably would have tried it out. But nobody never said that. My parents, my sisters, my siblings, nobody ever told me anything about thinking about college or trade. And I wish I had that opportunity when I was 20.
Alrighty. The next question is, how do you move on from a long relationship? Say you've been with this person for 5 to 6 years. How do you end it off, and how do you grow yourself back from being yourself, from leaving from that person?
Let me see. I didn't have that many relationships because I was just like, you know, I didn't believe in like having so many damn. Excuse me, I don't mean to swear. But I didn't want to have like different boyfriends and, you know, dealing with relationships in and out. So, but when I want to say, when I was in a relationship, it was kind of hard for me. Like I said, I didn't bounce around from relationships. So when I was in a relationship, it was hard when we broke it off because, you know, the guys that I dealt with, they didn't literally come out their mouth and say like, oh, it's over with. That's the only thing about you guys. Y'all don't know how to come at your mouth and say, oh, I want to end this relationship. I'm not feeling, you know, they don't say that. You know,
they do everything for you to break up with them.
They do everything for you to break up with them. And the number one thing how guys in my life had did things with me, I wouldn't hear from them no more. I would see less of them. And I'm call them and they don't answer. We didn't have cell phones. We just had a regular house phones and then, you know, answering service. So you call, you know, mother said like, oh, they went out. Oh, they're not, you know, they're not over your house. Now it's dead ringing when they said, oh, they're not over your house? No. So it was just like, it came to that conclusion like, okay, well, if he ain't at my house, he's at somebody's house, you know? So with that hurt, you know, and that, you know, having somebody to be in a relationship and somebody not coming out to you and say like it's over, rather it's you or him, it hurts, you know, that you got to find out. And what's so bad, I guess this was the main thing that really bothered me. So this guy that I had dated never came out of his mouth and said that he ended the relationship. So when I used to call him, he never answered the phone, or if his mother would answer or his brother would answer. So one day I happened to go to the movies by myself. I don't know why, but I wound up going to the movie by myself. And long and behold, there he is with his new girlfriend.
Oh, man.
So, what did I do? Because he was tall. You couldn't miss him. So, when he got up, I seen him. So, I followed him out. I said, like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, what are you doing here? Here we go with the reverse psychology. What are you doing here? Your brother had said that you went out, but he didn't say you went out to the movies. And I've been calling you, and you ain't been returning my phone call. Next thing you know, the girl that he was at the movies with came out looking for him. So there it is, me and her right there, and him right there, looking stupid as ever. So I just flung my hand up in the air and I left out the movies, and that was it. That was it. Then now he blowing up my house phone. He blowing up the phone, trying to call and everything. Man, bye, please. So my only thing is like, if you're gonna end a relationship, just end it. Don't do this catty stuff that I'm not gonna call her or I'm not gonna call him. You know, they'll get it. No. You just end the relationship and be gone about your business. Don't get busted at no darn cheap old movie watching Purple Rain.
That's Purple Rain.
That's Purple Rain.
That's crazy.
All right, man, bye.
So what would your advice to be on moving on and refinding yourself? Like, what are some tips you would say to do?
Well, at that age, it's kind of hard. Like I said, it all depends how you feel for that individual. Now, if you don't have that really deep feeling for that individual, of course you can move on. But if you have feelings for that individual, it's going to be kind of hard. You know, women, we're very sensitive when it comes to relationships. And it's not that easy for us to just end it and realize that it's over with. You know, it really is a psychological thing where you have to just say, you know, it's over and I got to move on and, you know,
I feel like the hardest thing is like being with somebody and being in their routine. Y'all have a routine, and then like it disappears, and it's like you kind of got to find yourself again. Like, how can I like move the way I want to move when I've been so used to moving with you?
But it all depends the age too. It all depends what age you are. You know, when you're younger, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
When you're older, like my age, you can say like, I'm good. I'm good now.
That is true. I feel like at a younger age, it's like you're so attached. But even for myself, I feel strongly like, say if me and my boyfriend was to break up today, I'll be sad, but I'll be able to move on.
You'll be able to move on. You can easily accept it as opposed to when you're more younger.
Yeah, you can't accept it when you're younger.
Because when you're younger, you just feel you're in love. You really don't know what love is. You really don't really know what love is until you reach a really mature age, and you really feel like, okay, I get it. I know what love is. I can feel love.
Right. Our next question is an advice question. How do I deal with my buddy who goes all radio silent when he got a girlfriend, but as soon as they split, he's back like a boomerang? I know I deserve better than being his backup plan, but we've been friends for over 12 years, and I cherish that.
Oh. Well, I dated somebody who was my best friend, which was rule number one. I should have never did. Because when you take that best friend and that friend becomes now your boyfriend or your girlfriend, the tables turn a whole lot. That's just like marriage, you know, like you started off in a relationship and everything. Then when you get married, it's just like, I don't know, the mind thinks differently now. Like, and so, you know, that's kind of hard. That reflects on the person you are, the person that individual is. Because
the problem is when he gets a girlfriend, he leaves her alone. But then when he doesn't have a girlfriend anymore, he comes back to
her again. But then that messes up her if she's in a relationship and here he is popping up out the blue. And, you know, like I said, manipulation is the key in a relationship, you know. That's the key role in a relationship, is being manipulated. And you got to know when you're being manipulated, especially when it comes to a relationship, because 1 minute you want me, 1 minute you don't. That's all manipulation. You just got to pull yourself together and say, this person don't want me. This person just wants me when he or she is not with their significant other, and I'm like the backup. You don't want to feel like you're anybody's backup.
No, you don't.
So that's just something that you're going to have to really deeply put in your heart and your mind, like you deserve better. We always deserve better. So whoever you are, please, you know, look into your heart and just look at yourself in the mirror and just say, I deserve better, and I can let this go, because one day he's not going to come back. So therefore, you're gonna pursue and let so many other eligible men or eligible young guys come in your life and let them go, because you're sitting around waiting for him who's making these promises that he know very well he's not gonna hold himself to them promises. So it's best for you to just go on. You want to be friends, fine. I can make that. I can draw that line. Friends only.
Yep, keep it right there. The next question comes from a guy.
I never liked dating.
I could never date anybody that I was best friends with, like guy-wise, because it breaks when y'all break up.
That friendship is gone.
Yeah,
that friendship is gone. So
and I've been through a lot of guy friends who, like, they were always into me, but I always told them, like, I cherish our friendship more, so I don't want to be with you.
Exactly. Especially if you felt like that friend was like a brother. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like,
or she was like a sister. It's like, I mean, sometimes it works, but that means I have to go back like when you all was like in kindergarten. Like, sometimes like really deep, like kindergarten, first grade, something like that. I could see it possibly happen, because he or she could have had moved away.
Yeah, and then
they come back and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you, and look at you.
That's like the movie Norbit. Yeah. She got adopted, and then like she met him back when they were older, and then they fell in love.
Right, exactly.
Next question is, why would a girl go MIA after a month of good communication and dates? This is coming from a guy.
Because she's seeing someone else. That's one thing. One thing. I'm not gonna be putting out secrets about females, but we can do that damn thing good when we want to. Not that it's a good thing. I'm not gonna clap, applaud it, but that's just how some females do it, and some guys do it. They could just.
Do you move on from a long relationship? Say you've been with this person for 5 to 6 years. How do you end it off, and how do you grow yourself back from being yourself, from leaving from that person?
Let me see. I didn't have that many relationships because I was just like, I didn't believe in like having so many damn. Excuse me, I don't mean to swear. But I didn't want to have like different boyfriends and dealing with relationships in and out. So, but when I want to say, when I was in a relationship, it was kind of hard for me. Like I said, I didn't bounce around from relationships. So when I was in a relationship, it was hard when we broke it off because, the guys that I dealt with, they didn't literally come out their mouth and say like, oh, it's over with. That's the only thing about you guys. Y'all don't know how to come at your mouth and say, oh, I want to end this relationship. I'm not feeling, they don't say that.
They do everything for you to break up with them.
They do everything for you to break up with them. And the number one thing how guys in my life had did things with me, I wouldn't hear from them no more. I would see less of them. And I'm call them and they don't answer. We didn't have cell phones. We just had a regular house phones and then, answering service. So you call, mother said like, oh, they went out. Oh, they're not, they're not over your house. Now it's dead ringing when they said, oh, they're not over your house? No. So it was just like, it came to that conclusion like, okay, well, if he ain't at my house, he's at somebody's house, So with that hurt, and that, having somebody to be in a relationship and somebody not coming out to you and say like it's over, rather it's you or him, it hurts, that you got to find out. And what's so bad, I guess this was the main thing that really bothered me. So this guy that I had dated never came out of his mouth and said that he ended the relationship. So when I used to call him, he never answered the phone, or if his mother would answer or his brother would answer. So one day I happened to go to the movies by myself. I don't know why, but I wound up going to the movie by myself. And long and behold, there he is with his new girlfriend.
Oh, man.
So, what did I do? Because he was tall. You couldn't miss him. So, when he got up, I seen him. So, I followed him out. I said, like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, what are you doing here? Here we go with the reverse psychology. What are you doing here? Your brother had said that you went out, but he didn't say you went out to the movies, and I've been calling you, and you ain't been returning my phone call. Next thing you know, the girl that he was at the movies with came out looking for him. So there it is, me and her right there, and him right there, looking stupid as ever. So I just flung my hand up in the air and I left out the movies, and that was it. That was it. Then now he blowing up my house phone. He blowing up the phone, trying to call and everything. Man, bye, please. So my only thing is like, if you're gonna end a relationship, just end it. Don't do this catty stuff that I'm not gonna call her or I'm not gonna call him. They'll get it. They'll catch. No. You just end the relationship and be going about your business. Don't get busted at no darn cheap old movie watching Purple Rain.
That's Purple Rain.
That's Purple Rain.
That's crazy.
All right, man, bye.
So what would your advice to be on moving on and refinding yourself? Like, what are some tips you would say to do?
Well, at that age, it's kind of hard. Like I said, it all depends how you feel for that individual. Now, if you don't have that really deep feeling for that individual, of course you can move on. But if you have feelings for that individual, it's going to be kind of hard. You know, women, we're very sensitive when it comes to relationships, and it's not that easy for us to just end it and realize that it's over with. You know, it really is a psychological thing where you have to just say, you know, it's over and I gotta move on. And, you know,
I feel like the hardest thing is like being with somebody and being in their routine. Y'all have a routine and then like it disappears. And it's like you kind of got to find yourself again. Like, how can I like move the way I want to move when I've been so used to moving with you?
But it all depends the age too. It all depends what age you are. You know, when you're younger, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
When you're older, like my age, you can say like, I'm good. I'm good now.
That is true. I feel like at a younger age, it's like you're so attached. But even for myself, I feel strongly like, say if me and my boyfriend was to break up today, I'll be sad, but I'll be able to move on.
You'll be able to move on. You can easily accept it as opposed to when you're more younger.
Yeah, you can't accept it when you're younger.
Because when you're younger, you just feel you're in love. You really don't know what love is. You really don't really know what love is until you reach a really mature age and you really feel like, okay, I get it. I know what love is. I can feel love.
Right. Our next question is an advice question. How do I deal with my buddy who goes all radio silent when he got a girlfriend, but as soon as they split, he's back like a boomerang? I know I deserve better than being his backup plan, but we've been friends for over 12 years, and I cherish that.
Yo. Well, I dated somebody who was my best friend, which was rule number one I should have never did. Because when you take that best friend and that friend becomes now your boyfriend or your girlfriend, the tables turn a whole lot. That's just like marriage, you know, like you started off in a relationship and everything. Then when you get married, it's just like, I don't know, the mind thinks differently now. Like, and so, you know, that's kind of hard. That reflects on the person you are, the person that individual is. Because
the problem is when he gets a girlfriend, he leaves her alone. But then when he doesn't have a girlfriend anymore, he comes back to her again. But then that messes up her if she's in a relationship and here he is popping up out the blue. And, you know, like I said, manipulation is the key in a relationship, you know. Yes. That's the key role in a relationship, is being manipulated. And you got to know when you're being manipulated, especially when it comes to a relationship, because 1 minute you want me, 1 minute you don't. That's all manipulation. You just got to pull yourself together and say, this person don't want me. This person just wants me when he or she is not with their significant other, and I'm like the backup. You don't want to feel like you're anybody's backup. No, you don't. So that's just something that you're going to have to really deeply put in your heart and your mind, like you deserve better. We always deserve better. So whoever you are, please, you know, look into your heart and just look at yourself in the mirror and just say, I deserve better and I can let this go, because one day he's not going to come back. So therefore, you're gonna pursue and let so many other eligible men or eligible young guys come in your life and let them go, because you're sitting around waiting for him who's making these promises that he know very well he's not gonna hold himself to them promises. So it's best for you to just go on. You want to be friends, fine. I can make that. I can draw that line. Friends only. Yep, keep it right there. The next question comes from a guy.
I never liked dating.
I could never date anybody that I was best friends with, like guy-wise, because it breaks when y'all break up.
That friendship is gone.
Yeah,
that friendship is gone. So
and I've been through a lot of guy friends who, like, they were always into me, but I always told them, like, I cherish our friendship more, so I don't want to be with you.
Exactly. Especially if you felt like that friend was like a brother. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like,
or she was like a sister. It's like, I mean, sometimes it works, but that means I have to go back like when you all was like in kindergarten. Like, sometimes like really deep, like kindergarten, first grade, something like that. I could see it possibly happen, because he or she could have had moved away. Yeah, and then they come back and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you, and look at you.
That's like the movie Norbit.
Yeah.
She got adopted, and then like she met him back when they were older, and then they fell in love.
Right, exactly.
Next question is, why would a girl go MIA after a month of good communication and dates? This is coming from a guy.
Because she's seeing someone else. That's one thing. One thing. I'm not gonna be putting out secrets about females, but we can do that damn thing good when we want to. Not that it's a good thing. I'm not gonna clap, applaud it, but that's just how some females do it, and some guys do it. They could just walk away and just
be done.
And be done. And not even giving you any kind of signal. Because you're thinking, or she's thinking like everything's good. We go out, we hang out, talk on the phone and stuff, and then next thing you know, the phone calls have stopped, and you're wondering like, what did I do, or what did I say? You probably didn't say nothing or did nothing wrong, but somebody else is buzzing in her ear, and she finds it interesting, or he finds it interesting, and unfortunately you're just there just waiting and waiting. So best thing to do is probably just move on. Just move on.
Somebody else says, hey mama, how you doing?
Hello.
My question for you today is, how do you keep a stable relationship with your baby father? Me and my baby father are cool, and we have 2 kids together, but he always makes flirty accusations, and I try to keep our relationship stable. So how do I go about setting boundaries and laws with him, as he is my child's father?
Flirty? She said flirty?
Yeah, like he's flirting with her.
With other people?
No, flirt with her. And she's
Okay.
trying to keep it like boundaries. Like, no, like we're only here for the kids. So how does she go about telling him, like, this is how it is, this is how it's not going to be, da-da-da?
Right. Okay, well, for the fact that, it's involving children, that could be kind of like a sticky situation because, once you have children, and this is just my perspective, once you have a child with somebody, it's a bond. It's a bond that pretty much can't break. And most men and most women just feel you're mine. Regardless if I'm not with you, you're still going to be mine, because they always will throw in the children. Unfortunately, the child will always be thrown in.
Yep.
Setting the boundaries, setting the boundary would just be like, look, you come over, it's just going to be about you seeing the children. It's not going to go any further than that. We already discussed it. I'm going to do me, you're going to do you, but we're going to both be here for our children. If you're looking for anything more than that, I'm sorry. I'm not here to offer you anything else. We already went down that road. It didn't work. So you know what? We're just going to keep it just about the children. If you can't obey by that rule, then we're going to have to make other arrangements.
Right.
Other arrangements. That's all. Even with my oldest son, I had to make those kind of boundary rules for his father. He just felt that we have a child, we have a son together. He figured that he can come and go when he wants to, as far as like for me to move on into a relationship. He would just like literally pop up. And at first I didn't mind, because I'm saying like he is his father, but then I had to lay down the law and say, look, you just can't pop up anytime you want. You gotta call me, or we need to set some time frame, like every 2 weeks, every other weekend, but you just can't pop up like that, because I'm trying to establish a relationship, and I can't establish a relationship if you just randomly pop up. Of course, any man or any female will feel intimidated if that baby father or that baby mom just really show up whenever they want to.
Exactly.
So setting boundaries, if you're not in a relationship with that significant other, that child's father or that child's mother, you got to set that boundaries, because they will come to try to destroy any kind of relationship you try to establish. They will try to ruin it. So,
okay.
that's the only thing I have to say on that one.
The next question is, hey, Miss Elaine.
Hi.
How did you build your relationship with God?
Oh, Lord. I love my Lord. I wake up to him. I go to sleep with him. I'm telling you, that is like the best thing that you could possibly do, is get close to God, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because with him in your life, I'm about to tell y'all a testimony, so get ready. With him in your life, nothing could possibly go wrong. He will send that person that is right for you. Right for you. He will open up doors that have never been opened before you before. He will be there when you're crying and you just seem confused. You can just feel the comfort of him putting his arms around you when you're just like, I don't know where to go. I don't have anything to do. You know, I don't know how I'm going to pay this bill. I don't know why these kids are acting that way. You know, you just have to just open up to him. You just have to have, like I'm talking to you right now, that's just how you talk to him. That's how I talk to him. I talk to him just like I'm talking to you. That's how he wants you to talk to him. That's the only way you're going to get him to listen to you. Because he's not listening to your voice, he's listening to your heart.
Yes, he is.
So therefore, you have to make sure when you come to him, don't come to him with no B. You come to him just like I'm talking to you now. That's how you come to him. And that's how I made my connection. I have called on him for so many different reasons, and he has came through. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to happen today or tomorrow, but it will come. It definitely will come. Just like I'm praying on a house, I have put it in his hands, and I just keep on manifesting it, and it's going to come. He got me here in this apartment. That's why I have not moved yet, because I know he's going to put me in my own house. So he's saying, if you can't wait for me to put you in that house, then you're going to want to move that to that apartment. You move into that next apartment, or you know, be impatient.
Patience is key.
If you ask him for something, you have to wait until he's ready to give it to you. He's going to give it to you, though. So you keep on, and keep reading your Bibles, or go to your church and worship and fellowship, and go to Bible study, whatever it is that you can get a way to understand it. Because like my thing was, and like Jada has knows also, I had asked this past Christmas, was it? Everybody to go to church?
Yeah.
It was this Christmas, that past Christmas, I invited my whole family to come to church, because I had started this new church that I started attending. Now, I had grew up with my family in a family church, but once I passed away, the whole church started dividing itself. So I went to this new church, and I sent out invitations to all my siblings and nieces and nephews and everything, and I left that door open for anyone who wanted to come. Everybody said that was going to come, unfortunately didn't come, other than my sister. Now with Jada did tell me, and she told me exactly what I remember saying to myself. I don't know when the situation was, but she had said, you know, I'm not going to go because I want to go when it's my time to go. I don't want to go because you invited me. I thank you for inviting me, but I want to go when I'm ready to go, when the Spirit is ready to move me to let me go. Because where I'm going, that's not maybe where she's going to receive her blessings. That's not where probably God want her to fellowship. Totally respect that. So the thing that I'm sending out to you is like, when you ask, he will deliver. You got to ask him.
Amen.
But you got to ask him wholehearted. Don't ask him because you just feel like asking him. You got to ask him wholehearted.
Very genuine.
And he will answer. He would definitely answer.
He definitely will. The next question is, hey, I am in my late 20s, and the question I have for you is, how do I make friends?
Oh.
How do I go about making friends? I don't really connect with people my age. So is it okay for me to try to get friends that are older than me?
Well, talking to a person who didn't have any friends her age, and I hung out with people who was 20 years older than me, maybe even 30 years older than me. They were the best friends I had, because along with that friendship came with wisdom. Just like I'm talking to you. I'm 60, you're 20. I'm talking to you from my past experiences to now. But even though I'm 60, I'm still on a journey, you know. But I come to you because of only my experiences. So having older friends, there's nothing wrong with having older friends. If you can connect with older people,
Do it.
do it. Do it. That's your learning tool. You know, we're always learning, and they're not gonna tell you anything that ain't true or something that they haven't experienced.
Right.
And I tell you, I do not regret knowing the people that I have known. Also, some of them have passed away, because like I said, they was about 20 and 30, maybe 40 years older than me. But that was like the best time of my life, I'm telling you. And it all started, I bowled on a bowling league with my uncle. It was his bowling league. And everybody on his league was at least 20, or like I said, 20 or 30 years older than me. But man, please, more people can party. And I was partying right along with them.
I do agree, because my friend group is my age. I'm 24 and older, and you gotta have certain friends for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Certain friends you can go to clubs with, certain friends you can go out to dinner with, certain friends you can travel with. It's okay to have those type of group of friends for different things, because not all your friends are gonna be able to do the same thing that you want to do. So I definitely agree. Go get you some older friends. Older friends are fine, from my experience.
I mean, if you have younger friends, that's fine.
That's fine.
But I had preferred to be with the older people, because they was just more spontaneous. They were more outgoing.
Yep.
They had money. so it's true.
All right, we have two more questions.
It's true. They had money. They went broke.
The second last question is, hey mama, how do you feel about marriage? And my dating life sucks. So what should I do to find my husband?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Marriage. Okay. I've been married almost 20 years. Is it 20 years?
It'll be 20 this year.
Almost 20 years. And marriage is a lot of work. I'm not going to say I'm just going to tell you like this. It's hard. It's hard. Marriage is so hard. And I think it's harder when you're younger.
Yes.
Because, see, I got married when I was like 40.
Mm-hmm.
And I always said, like, boy, had I got married in my 20s, I would have got divorced. If I was married to your dad in my 20s, I would have got divorced. Only way I wouldn't have got divorced because of the fact he was in the military. He was still a Marine.
Right.
So therefore, him going away 6 months would have kept our marriage stable. But it's a lot of work. It's so much work, because your personalities are different, totally. And I don't know, once you're married, for me, once I got married, I could see the difference where Jada's dad, my husband, he just got in that chill mode. Like, he didn't really want to do anything. Like, when we were dating, it was like,
Pretty much he settles, because he's like, well, I married you. I don't have to keep trying to get at you, like flirt with you, take you out the dates and stuff like that. It's like, okay, we're married, we're settled. Like, I don't have to do all of that extra stuff I did when you was my girlfriend, basically. Right.
Basically, that's what it was. But for the fact of the matter, our age, that's why we're still together, because now we got into that kind of mind frame, like, I ain't up for dating no more. Once you get a certain age, you're like, I'm tired. I don't want to date no more. Some people, not all people, but for me and my husband, we just are like, we just rather deal with each other because we know each other. We know our ups and downs. He knows what gets me pissed off, and I know what get him pissed off, which I really don't really care. And we just managed to stay together because he ain't going nowhere.
Literally, he's not.
He ain't going nowhere. He done made that very clear. But like I said, you know, we just managed to deal with it. But like I said, if you're young, it all depends your age too. Like, and I can't even say on a behalf of a man on maturity levels. It's kind of hard. It's really hard. I cannot even give you a straight up answer on that, honey, because like I said, my marriage is totally different as opposed to looking at my sister's marriage or my cousin's marriages. So everybody's marriage is so different. So for anybody to try to give anybody any advice on marriage is kind of hard because, you know, everybody's different, you know. Everybody's totally different. My husband, his background, he's been in the military for over 19 years. He went in the military when he was 19. He's 6 years older than me. His sister was my mother's best friend. When he left to go into the military, I was still like a teenager. So when he came back, now I'm a grown woman, and we learned to talk and laugh and stuff like that. And, you know, it was good. It was all good. After I got pregnant with Jada, you know, everyone was all good. And like I said, I had Jada before we got married. But then after we got married, it's just like, wow, like, to me, honestly, I'm going to tell you the honest God truth. When I got married to your dad, I was like, this is so boring. Like, okay, what do we do? Like, why everybody be flipping the trip about marriage? Like, what do you do? You come home, work, cook, clean. It was boring. It was so boring. I'm like, what do females be tripping? Not even guys. What do they be tripping about marriage? And it's just like,
hold that thought. Camera. Okay.
So yeah, so again, like, it was boring. We had the child, we got the house, and still, nothing changed. It was still boring to me. It was just so boring. So, I'm not saying everybody's marriage is like that. If you can find happiness, if you can get married and find happiness that's going to last forever, God bless you. But for me, in my experience, it did not end like that. It did not end like a happy ever after. It's just happening. We're just going to grow old together. And I guess that's all we can do is just grow, you know, grow old together. And, but each one, we truly love each other, but it's just like, I love him differently than I loved him when I first met him. You know, your love starts to change. And sometimes it won't. But for me, my love started to change. When he pulled back and showed me lack of attention, that's when I just said, you know, I worked on it. I tried to make things happen. I tried to make things work. But when he pretty much didn't show that much interest, like support, then that's when I started to withdraw. And when I withdraw, trust me, I'm going to withdraw fully. But for that question, the only thing I can say is, you know, go with your gut feeling. Don't go about that day. That one day of you in the wedding gown and the party and you paying all that money. I mean, that's why they take pictures. Because after those pictures are all done and everybody then departed and went on their way and the honeymoon is all good, reality will kick in. And
sure will.
You'll be sitting there and say, like, what did I just do? That's what I say. You probably won't say that, but I did.
Okay, the next question is, how do I go about dating? What are the qualities I should be looking for? And how do I know if the guy is not the right one for me? Even though the date was fine, how do I know to still pursue him?
How do you know? Well, honey, I haven't dated in so long. and this newer generation, I don't.
Yeah, because I had to teach her about the levels of dating, how you talk to someone, you're in the talking stage,
y'all be in
and
that,
then you're dating
and stuff. Because with my generation, it's like we dated, and then after dating, it was just like, okay, you move on to the next. You stay in that dating phase until you probably get engaged, and if you don't get engaged, you just depart, or you get engaged and then you move on to marriage. So, it's hard, man. That's probably a question Jada would have to answer on her base experience, because, you know, dating, you just have to, for me, I just feel that you should always date more than one guy. Or you should date more than one female.
In the beginning, yes, because you never know where the relationship's gonna go. If you're dating, my example, I was dating 5 guys at one time.
5 guys at one time?
Yes, and one of them was my boyfriend now. And
so you probably was just talking to 5 guys at one time. How can you be dating 5 guys at one time?
Because you can. They don't even know each other.
So what do you say dating? So what do you mean by dating?
Because now with dating, it's more like, dating is kind of like getting to know the person. Like, I'm dating him, I'm dating him, I'm dating him, I'm dating him.
So just say, I'm just going up with this person.
I'm just going out with this person, but y'all know what I mean. I'm dating Tim, da da da.
Dating to me is like you're in a relationship.
No, dating now is just like, I'm just dating. I'm just going out, getting to know people. And then my boyfriend, out of the 5, he put the most pressure.
So if you go out with a person for one time, that's considered a date?
Yeah. Like, I'm going on a date with this guy. I'm dating.
I don't know.
And then if we go on multiple dates, then we're dating. And then out of the 5 or 6, whoever, how many you want to date, it's going to be that one that's going to put himself at the top of the roster. And when he puts himself at the top of the roster,
oh, thank God we didn't have all the cell phones and websites and all that crazy mess. We met out when we were dating. We went out with the guys from high school. And I rode with the group that, because Darlene was a cheerleader, so I had to be there with her. And so therefore, you know, it was just initially that the cheerleaders dated football or basketball. And if you were in that circle, you would date. So that's how we wind up dating footballs and basketball players. And that's how we dated. We dated from guys that were in our school. Now you guys go across the freaking country to date guys and females.
Me, personally, I never liked dating nobody at my school because I didn't like everybody in my business. And me, when I was younger, I wasn't into basketball players. I wasn't into football players.
That's only because you all had social media. See, we didn't have social media.
Yeah.
So we had curfew. You couldn't be on the phone at a certain time, and some of us only had one phone in the house. So it was like, you know.
I would say my advice on dating would just be, don't settle for that one person.
Right.
Just because that one date was so perfect, you still got to get to know a person. And I believe a man will make you his girlfriend when he's ready. But then I also believe a man makes you his girlfriend in 3 months or 6 months, something's off. Because how do you know, just because he makes you his girlfriend, how do you know he doesn't have a hickory dickory and dom on the side? How do you know he just made you the girlfriend because he just wants you to be happy and he wants you to shut up?
And he could be the date from hell.
Thank you. That's
you gotta know the personality.
I don't believe in if a man really wants you, he'll make you his girlfriend in 3 months. A man will make you his girlfriend whenever he wants to.
What? Make your girlfriend in 3 months?
Yeah, it's like this thing where like they feel like, oh, if a man really likes you, he'll make you his girlfriend in 3 months because social media, that's what social media pushes out. I'll tell you right now, my boyfriend never asked me to be his girlfriend. He never asked me to be his girlfriend, but every time we're out, he always will tell people like, this is my woman, this is my girl. He don't call me his girlfriend, he calls me his woman. So right then and there, I already knew like, all right, I know my place.
But how did he know you wanted to be him to be your man? Because he never asked you.
Because we had conversations about it. Like he will always ask me like,
I need to hear it.
What do you tell people about me? I'd be like, oh, I tell them you're my man, and he's like, okay.
Well, why are you so worried about that? If he didn't come out his mouth and ask you,
because his thing is like,
then why was he so worried about how do you introduce me to your friends and your family.
Because I guess at that point, he was already telling people I was his woman. So he wanted to know, like, okay, we're on the same page. Like, I'm your man, you're my woman. Like, yeah. And we've been good. We've been together for a year.
But he never even properly even...
No, never asked me. Because I asked him, I said, are you the type... Because nowadays, there's men that just don't ask you. You just know. And I just knew. He with me every day. He met my family.
I can't remember if your dad even asked me to be his girlfriend. I'm going to question him, like, how did you court me?
How did you court me is crazy.
Did you ask me?
And, like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's cute for a dude to ask you to be his girlfriend, but, like...
Oh, no, he did. Because Buddy was alive. My father. We called my father Buddy. Well, I didn't, but his grandkids did. And he did. Because Buddy used to be on the fence. Because he used to always wait for me to come walking home from work. And your father and your cousin, them all used to be on their stoop. Mm-hmm. So I used to walk past them. And so your grandfather used to say, like, and my father used to call me Princess. He said, Princess, they be checking you out. They be checking you out. I said, I know they do, Daddy. And so your father and your cousin Boot was trying to, you know, see which one was going to make the approach. And so, you know, Nosy Jerome, their friend, kept coming to me and said, like, oh, did Eddie come over and talk to you? He wants to talk to you. I said, well, he got a mouth. He want to talk to me. Then he come over here and talk to me. But anyway, so the long story short, so my father was alive. So my husband did go to my father and ask my father, you know, he wanted to court me. And my father said, like, as long as you don't hurt my princess, because that's my princess. Don't you hurt my princess. And he said, okay, Mr. Earl, I won't. So he did.
He asked your father, but did he physically ask you?
Actually, he asked his father, but I don't remember him asking me. He probably did, because I'm saying, like, why would you ask my father if he didn't ask me?
But see how times are different, because when it comes to me, like, I'm not a daddy's girl. So, like, to be real honest with you, I wouldn't care how my father would feel about a man dating me. It's her. Like, if she don't like you, then that's it. Like, I'm really a mommy's girl.
But I pretty much like any guy for my daughter. I accept most guys until I get the full rundown about them. Mm-hmm. Then I pretty much express myself to them and let them know I don't think that's cool at all. No, it ain't gonna work out.
So yeah, don't know. My boyfriend never asked me to be his girlfriend, but we together. Everybody knows we together. So.
But so I just feel that she need to go on a couple of more dates with him, be around him a little bit better, get a better feel of him, and see what happens, see what works out. Because like I said, you know, dating is really hard. It's really hard to try to determine if this is the person you want to be with. Same vice versa with that person, that man, that young man. You know, are you the person he want to be? Because there's been a lot of women that go out on these dates with these guys, and you know, they go out for a couple of times and then they become MIA, whatever it's called, and that's it, and you get heartbroken because you thought you was thinking more than what it is. And that's another, never go on a date and thinking more than what it is. It's just, and that's why I said the word term date, you know, it's just a date.
It's just a date, that's it.
That's all it is. It's just a date.
Our last question for you, Miss Elaine, is what is your favorite hygiene products?
Oh, wow. Now, as far as...
It could be face care, body wash, anything.
I don't really have a favorite. I know now that since I'm, you know, a senior citizen, it's all about the face. It's all about the face. You know, I'm trying different makeup and aging cream and things like that. I'm getting kind of good at it too. So, but yeah, it would be more so my face. I work out every day, so I'm into fitness. So I do work out a lot. Young people work out. So that's something that I focus on, is my fitness, my worshiping. And like I said, I notice now for the last, I want to say three years now, I really been into my face as far as face creams and different things like that. I mean, I'm not a really wrinkle kind of person for my age, but you still have to, you know, keep your face, you know, looking healthy and good. And I've never been a person that had dark spots or pimples and things like that. And so now that I'm getting really into makeup, you know, I have to really like pay attention to my face. And I noticed one thing about my face also, dark circles. I dread getting dark circles. I absolutely dread. And I only say that because my allergies, I have teary eyes. You know what teary eyes, it starts to form dark circles. So I use a lot of different eye creams because I'm trying to prevent of getting dark circles. Because once you get dark circles under your eyes, that's it. That's it. You want to always have to wear makeup. Mm-hmm. So my hygiene now, I really focus on my face. I really focus on my face.
Oh, we just got another question. Just right now. It says, "Hey mama.
Hi.
Do you like Malibu's boyfriend?"
Oh, good question. Good question. Okay, so because he is now, how much do people know about him?
Everybody on my YouTube knows about him.
Okay.
They never seen his face though, but
okay,
they know.
That privacy is a good quality. So because he's a truck driver and therefore he go out on the road and he doesn't come back sometimes 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
I think it's perfect. Their relationship is perfect because the balance that it is. I wish I would have had dated a truck driver because I get so quick and I don't know about you, but I get so quick and bored in a relationship. It's crazy. I'm like that person. Keep me active. Keep me going. Come on, let's do it. And that's my downfall with my husband because he doesn't perk me up like that. But for Jada, I think this could be like the best relationship I've seen her in. Not that the other ones were bad. They had their ups and downs. But I think this is good on her behalf because they're not always together, you know. And they're establishing that kind of boundary for each other where, you know, he's out on the road. I'm not thinking negative about him. He's not thinking anything negative about her because she goes out just as much when he's not here. So, and that's how you build that trust too. So that works too. So overall, when it comes down to this relationship, I think this relationship is a go. It's definitely a go. I think it works better for her. From what I know of him, he has a very old soul, so me and him connect very well.
Yes, he does.
And when I say old soul, sometimes I'm talking to him like I'm talking to somebody who's 60 and older. He has a nice style to himself, something that I wish my husband could pick up.
Oh my gosh.
And he listens, and that's one thing about him. He listens, and when I say he listens, he listens. He doesn't like brush me off. Not that none of her other male guys ever did, but me and him have established some kind of good connection. I can sit here and literally talk to him
for hours,
all day. Not all day, but hours, because it's never no right or wrong in our conversations. And if it is, it's okay. But for her, I just think this is better. That, you know, she pretty much have lucked out with this person. And, you know, and that's all through prayer. You know, you ask God to send you that right man, or you ask God to send you that right woman, he'll send you that right person. And I think this is good for Jada.
On my end, I just say, ladies, you don't have to be on your man 24/7. Okay? This relationship has taught me you don't got to be with your man 24/7. And one thing about him is he respects me. He knows I'm a little bit loopy in the head, and I do a lot of outrageous things sometimes, but he likes me for me. He likes my style. We work on our styles together. And also, like my mom said, it builds trust. Like, I was kind of iffy with him going on the road for like 3 weeks, but y'all, we on the phone 24/7. If he's not on the phone with me, he's sleeping. If he's not on the phone with me, he's eating Popeyes or McDonald's, watching TV. Like, I know what he do. And even when I go out, he knows, like, I'm not going to be doing nothing outrageous or crazy, because I always call him when I come home. So, yeah. Hopefully it's for a long time.
And like I said, once I were Jada, who's sort of like me, even when something is bothering her in a relationship or whatever, you know, I'm that open ear. And it's always good to talk about it instead of, you know, trying to figure it out or try to make yourself feel like, did I do something wrong? You know, if you talk to somebody, that's great. Yeah. And what better person to talk to is your mom. I side with her, and I will also tell her, like, you know, yeah, you're wrong. Like, yeah, that was messed up. You know, I see his point. But like I said, I feel like Trucker is a really good guy for her, and I'm not saying it because he sits there and talks to me. I'm saying it because I just get good energy with him around, and that's a good thing, because there's a lot of people I don't get good energy being around them, and I don't like being around people who gives me bad energy, because I'm not that kind of person. I'm that person that brings out that good energy, and I hope that this good energy is reaching out to somebody on this channel right now as I eat this cantaloupe.
Oh, we got another question. This probably be the last one, so my camera could charge. How did you and Malibu grow a close mother and daughter relationship? I love you guys' mother and daughter relationship. I barely have a relationship with my mother at all, but it's okay. But how did you guys end up building a bond the way y'all do?
Because I'm nosy. I'm nosy. But she, out of all my kids, she was the one who did the most sneakiest stuff. She did the most sneakiest stuff, and I applaud her, because I'm saying you actually got through, and I didn't have no clue. I thought I was on top of her game, but I wasn't.
I would say on my end, it was more so as I got older, I was willing to tell her most of the sneaky stuff I was doing. But
that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to tell when you're older. You ain't supposed to tell when you're younger.
But also, too, I just think because, you know, my mother was always there. She was always there, so I just knew I could talk to her about anything, and how supportive she was 24/7. My mother supports her children to hardcore. Whatever we want to do, she's going to support us.
And plus, like I said, I wanted to always have an open relationship with all my kids. I didn't hold back nothing. I didn't hold back about sex and the things about sex or their education. I always do, you know, once you finish high school, you want to go to college. Because this is me. I never want my kids to come back and say, well, you never told me, or nobody never mentioned it to me. So I made sure I cleared those areas about, relationships and school and education and work. I made sure I covered those things, because I never wanted those things to come back to me as, well, you never said anything to me. You never pursued me to go out and do this and nothing like that. I just always felt that I'm going to cover myself, because I grew up in a household where things weren't presented to me like that. They weren't presented to me at all. So I just made it my mission that I wanted to give my kids those opportunities that I never had an opportunity to have from my parents. Not that I don't love them. I love them dearly, but they just didn't speak to me on those terms, especially with my mother. I guess she felt that it was my older sister's job to talk to me about boys and sex and, things that, a young woman should know. And I think that was fine, but I think I would have really would have took it more seriously if my mother probably would have said something to me like that. But like I said, parents and myself, we grew up in a different era, and your parents only spoke to you about so much. With my kids, I just wanted to be very outspoken with them, let them know about sex, let them know about, the things that they needed to know, and hopefully that they would use it whenever it was needed.
And plus, I always been a mommy's girl. Ever since I was young, I was always with my mother. Even when I became a teenager and I was outside doing whoever knows what I was doing outside, like, I don't know, I still was able to talk to her about things that were going on. And my mother was very involved on whatever I was doing, or like wanted to know what was going on. And I think it's more so, it's also us girls. Like, we have to be okay to open up to our mothers. I know there's probably some mothers who are like very embarrassing. Some mothers are very judgmental, but you guys' relationship grows as you guys get older. Like, me and my mother are very similar. We can go neck to neck some days, but it's all out of love. And it's like, we both know that at the end of the day, I have her back, she has mine. And plus, we have been through things together where it's like we're stuck like glue. So I would just say, to build a relationship with your mother, you just have to be open. Even if you're embarrassed, go talk to your mother. You'll be surprised what your mother has to say to you. Yeah. And the advice that your mother has to say to you. Like, me and my sister, we're not that close. So I already knew when it came to boys and stuff like that, I go to my mom. Especially because I always used to see how my mom was with my older 2 cousins. My cousin Keon and Catrice. I seen how my mother was with them. So it's just like, I already knew at a very young age, when I get older, my mom and me are going to be close when it comes to talking to certain things, because I see how she talks to my older cousins and how people always used to come to my mother for advice. Yeah, and I love that fact, that the idea that a lot of your friends came to me and talked. Because, like I said, and I'm not doubting nobody's parent, because I'm not going to be sitting here and judge anybody's parent. But sometimes you as a parent, we get wrapped up in our own life and our own things that we just don't have the time to really like sit down and listen to what our kids have to say. Mm-hmm. That's very unfortunate. So to have some of her friends to come and talk to me, or we just talked. It wasn't like they came and talked to me. We just talked. And I try to be as truthful as possible, but I am not perfect. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to step on any parent's toes, but it's a wonderful thing. Like I said, I always said to myself, I would always try to give my daughters something that I felt I've never gotten from my own mother. And not that I don't love my mother, I love my mother to death, but I just didn't have that open mindset to sit down and talk to her about a lot of things, because back in my time it was just not a traditional thing for you to go and talk to your mother about a lot of these female things that you were going through. Right. Let alone birth control. I'm like, what you want birth control for? What are you out there doing? Birth control. Nowadays we just like, here, take it. And like I said, nowadays everything's just out there. You know what I'm saying? So even with my grandchildren, like I said, my granddaughter, she talks to me a lot of things that she can't talk to her mother. I'm glad that she comes to me. I'd rather her come to me or come to her aunt than to come talk to her friends about it and they stir her the wrong way. So and that's a perfect example right there. Right now, she just feels she can't talk to her mother about a lot of things, because my daughter don't take her serious, or maybe because she just feel like I don't want to see my little girl grow up. But little girls do grow up, and you got to let them know. You got to prepare what this world's about, and they're going to be a part of it, regardless you like it or not. Yep. So as far as like me and Jada's relationship, like I said, it's a good relationship. It has its rocky mountains, high and low. But the main thing, when you come back, when you think about it, for me, I think about, I'm saying like, tomorrow's not promised to none of us. So you just got to get out there and just say, hey, I apologize if I said something wrong to you. I apologize.
Can we move on? And I am that kind of person. When I say I apologize, I move on. I literally move on. I do not talk about whatever it is that got us here. I move on.
Because it is what it is. Life is short.
I move on.
Life is short. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys would like a part 2 with Miss Elaine, comment down below red hearts. I love you guys so much. Do you have anything else to say?
I love you guys too. I love you. Thank you so much. If I helped anybody out here with any of your questions, I'm glad to help you out or make some kind of clarification or whatever the question that you had asked. I do my best. Basically, I just go upon what I think, what I feel, but also what matters to you. You know, I don't know who you are. I don't know you physically. I don't know you mentally, but I do pray for you and I love you. So see you in part 2.
Bye.